The belief in the significance of red heifers in Jewish tradition has its roots in ancient biblical laws and has been preserved through centuries of rabbinic interpretation and Jewish eschatological thought. This belief is particularly tied to the practices surrounding the temple in Jerusalem and the concept of ritual purity. The origins of the belief in the red heifer are found in the Hebrew Bible, specifically in the book of Numbers, chapter 19. This passage describes a detailed ritual involving a red heifer, a young female cow that has never been yoked and is entirely red, without more than 2 non-red hairs, which is to be sacrificed and burned outside of the camp. Its ashes are then collected and used for the purification of people who have become ritually impure through contact with a corpse. The red heifer is unique among sacrificial animals for several reasons. It is one of the only sacrifices conducted outside the Temple Mount. It is the only sacrifice in which the color of the animal is explicitly specified. Its ashes purify those who are impure, yet the priests who handle the ashes become impure themselves, a paradoxical aspect that has intrigued scholars and theologians for centuries. The ashes of the red heifer were an essential component of Jewish ritual purity laws, especially in the context of the temple in Jerusalem. Access to the temple required a state of ritual purity, which the ashes of the red heifer could restore in those who had been defiled by contact with death. Thus, without a red heifer, it is believed that certain aspects of religious practice related to the temple cannot be fully restored. In Jewish eschatology, the coming of the Messiah and the rebuilding of the temple in Jerusalem are pivotal events. A prevailing belief among some Jewish and Christian groups is that the appearance of a red heifer in Israel would signal the possibility of reinstating the temple service and thereby hasten the Messianic era. This is because the red heifer would enable the purification of the priests and the people, allowing them to engage in the temple services according to biblical law. In modern times, the search for a red heifer has attracted interest both within Israel and among Christian Zionists, with several organizations actively involved in attempting to breed a red heifer that meets all the biblical requirements. These efforts are controversial and closely watched, as they touch on sensitive religious and political issues, including the future of the Temple Mount, a site of significant religious importance to Jews, Christians, and Muslims alike. The belief in and the search for a red heifer illustrate the enduring impact of ancient religious texts on modern life and the complex interplay between religious beliefs and contemporary political and religious tensions in the Middle East. The belief in the red heifer holds significance primarily within Jewish tradition, particularly among those who adhere to orthodox or traditional interpretations of Jewish law. This belief centers around the red heifer's role in purifying individuals who have become ritually impure due to contact with a corpse, thus enabling them to participate in certain religious activities, particularly those associated with the temple in Jerusalem. Biblical foundation. The belief finds its roots in the Torah, specifically in the book of Numbers, chapter 19. According to this passage, the red heifer is to be sacrificed and burned outside the camp. Its ashes are then mixed with water and used for purification rituals. The red heifer is described as a unique offering, with specific criteria for its color and condition. Ritual purity. In Jewish law, purity and impurity, tahara and tuma, are central concepts governing various aspects of religious life, including temple service and participation in certain communal activities. Contact with a corpse is one of the primary sources of ritual impurity, rendering individuals unfit for certain religious duties until they undergo purification. Role in temple service. Access to the temple in Jerusalem required a state of ritual purity. The ashes of the red heifer were crucial for purifying individuals, including priests, who had become impure through contact with the dead. Without this purification, they would be unable to participate in temple service. Eschatological significance. Some interpretations of Jewish eschatology see the appearance of a red heifer as a harbinger of the Messianic era. The rebuilding of the temple and the resumption of its services are believed to be prerequisites for the arrival of the Messiah. Thus, the discovery of a suitable red heifer is sometimes viewed as a step toward the fulfillment of this prophecy. Historical instances. Throughout Jewish history, There have been recorded instances of red heifers being ritually prepared and sacrificed according to biblical requirements. However, such occurrences have been rare, and the ashes have not always been available for purification purposes due to political or logistical constraints. Modern interest and efforts. In recent decades, there has been renewed interest among certain Jewish groups in locating or breeding a suitable red heifer. Organizations and individuals have undertaken efforts to identify cows that meet the biblical criteria or to breed them through selective mating. These endeavors often attract attention from religious scholars, activists, and the media. Controversies and challenges. The quest for a red heifer is not without controversy. Some within the Jewish community view it with skepticism, questioning the feasibility of reestablishing temple practices in the modern era. Additionally, the political sensitivities surrounding the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, where the temple once stood, add complexity to any discussions or actions related to rebuilding the temple or reinstituting its rituals. In summary, the belief in the red heifer is deeply rooted in Jewish tradition and reflects the intricate interplay between religious teachings, historical practices, and eschatological expectations. While the quest for a red heifer continues to captivate the imagination of some within the Jewish community, it also raises complex theological, practical, and political questions that underscore the ongoing relevance of ancient religious traditions in the modern world. Rabbi Chanan Kupiecki, a respected figure within Orthodox Judaism, has commented on the importance of red heifers within Jewish tradition. His statement likely emphasizes the significance of red heifers in the context of Jewish law, ritual purity, and eschatological beliefs. While I cannot provide a specific statement from Rabbi Kupiecki without access to a direct source, I can offer a hypothetical example of his perspective based on common themes within Orthodox Jewish thought. Rabbi Chanan Kupiecki, the red heifer holds a pivotal role in Jewish tradition, symbolizing the intersection of ritual purity, divine commandments, and the eschatological hope for the restoration of temple worship. Its rarity and meticulous requirements underscore its sacredness and the profound significance it holds for the Jewish people. Symbolism and significance. Rabbi Kupiecki likely emphasizes that the red heifer is not merely a mundane animal, but holds deep symbolic significance within Jewish tradition. It represents the connection between earthly rituals and divine commandments, serving as a tangible reminder of God's laws and the importance of obedience. Ritual purity and divine commandments. The statement probably highlights the red heifer's role in maintaining ritual purity, particularly for those seeking to participate in temple worship or other sacred activities. Observing the laws regarding the red heifer demonstrates adherence to God's commandments and a commitment to spiritual purity. Eschatological hope. Rabbi Kupiecki might stress the eschatological significance of the red heifer, linking its appearance to the broader messianic hope within Jewish theology. The belief that the red heifer's presence could facilitate the rebuilding of the temple and the arrival of the Messiah underscores its importance in Jewish eschatological thought. Rareness and sacredness. The rarity of red heifers and the stringent requirements for their selection and sacrifice likely underscore their sacredness in Rabbi Kupiecki's statement. Their uniqueness highlights their special status within Jewish tradition and emphasizes the reverence with which they are regarded. Rabbi Chanan Kupiecki's statement on the importance of red heifers likely emphasizes their symbolic, ritual, and eschatological significance within Orthodox Jewish thought. It underscores their role in maintaining spiritual purity, fulfilling divine commandments, and embodying the hope for the restoration of temple worship in the Messianic era. The debate surrounding the belief in the significance of the red heifer is multifaceted and encompasses theological, historical, practical, and even geopolitical considerations. Ultimately, whether or not the belief holds true remains a matter of interpretation, faith, and, to some extent, speculation. Theological interpretation. Within Jewish tradition, there are varying interpretations of the significance of the red heifer. Some view it as a literal requirement for the restoration of temple practices and the coming of the Messiah, while others see it as a symbolic element with broader spiritual implications. The debate hinges on differing interpretations of biblical texts and rabbinic commentary. Historical authenticity. Skeptics question the historical accuracy of the red heifer rituals described in the Bible. They argue that the precise conditions for the sacrifice of a red heifer may not have been consistently observed throughout Jewish history, and that the practical feasibility of reinstating such rituals in the modern era is uncertain. Practical challenges. Even if one accepts the theological importance of the red heifer, practical challenges abound. Breeding a red heifer that meets all the biblical criteria is a daunting task, given the specific requirements regarding its color, age, and condition. Additionally, the resumption of temple practices would require significant logistical, legal, and political considerations, particularly in the context of the sensitive situation surrounding the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. Geopolitical sensitivities. The Temple Mount is a site of profound religious and political significance for Jews, Muslims, and Christians alike. Any attempts to rebuild the temple or reinstitute its rituals would likely have far-reaching implications for regional stability and interfaith relations. Thus, the debate over the red heifer intersects with broader geopolitical concerns. In conclusion, the question of whether the belief in the red heifer is true remains unresolved and perhaps ultimately unverifiable. While some within the Jewish community fervently believe in its significance and actively pursue efforts to locate or breed a suitable red heifer, others approach the topic with skepticism or caution. The ultimate realization or refutation of this belief may only come with time as historical, theological, and geopolitical developments unfold. In the meantime, the debate surrounding the red heifer serves as a reminder of the enduring complexity and richness of religious traditions and their implications for contemporary society.